This question is somehow lengthy, so we need to solve very carefully. Let's separate this upon this. Okay, this equals to summation. So I'm separating this n cube upon n cube into twice n factorial upon n factorial into twice n factorial plus twice n minus 1 into n factorial upon n factorial twice n factorial. Okay. Now here this twice n factorial and this twice n factorial gets cancelled, as well as n factorial and n factorial gets cancelled. What summation is from n goes from 0 to infinity. This is same as what? Let's separate summation also. Summation n goes from 0 to infinity. Here we have n cube upon n factorial plus, here I have twice n minus 1 upon twice n factorial. Okay, let's separate this also. So summation twice n upon twice n factorial minus summation 1 upon twice n factorial. Here n goes from 0 to infinity, n goes from 0 to infinity. Now limits looks fine when n equals to 0 here. When n equals to 0 also becomes 0, n equals to 0 becomes 0, all 0 factorial is become 1. So limits looks fine. Now this I can say like, for example, 5 factorial is what? Is 5 into 4 factorial. Okay. Similarly, what I can say is this can be written as, so I'll write over here. Let's keep as it is. Summation of n cube upon n factorial, n goes from 0 to infinity, plus this can be written as twice n upon twice n into twice n minus 1 factorial. Okay, because here n factorial is what? N into n minus 1 factorial. Okay, therefore this is same as this. Here n goes from 0 to infinity plus minus, sorry, here let's keep as it is, summation of n from 0 to infinity 1 by twice n factorial. Okay, now here this gets cancelled, so what we have is summation of n cube upon n factorial, where n goes from 0 to infinity, plus summation 1 upon twice n minus 1 factorial, n goes from here, look at here. Okay, when n goes from, if n equals to 0 over here, it becomes minus. Okay, minus factorial doesn't look like, since summation goes from infinity. Now if I start at 1, okay, if I start 1 over here instead of 0, so if I put 0 here, minus 1 factorial is there. So if I start at 1, 2 minus 1, 2 minus 1 is 1. Okay, it can start from 1. Okay, so limit is changing from 1 to infinity. Similarly over here, this gets cancelled. Similarly over here, minus summation 1 by twice n factorial. Here when n equals to 0, 0 factorial is 1, so limit doesn't have any problem over here, 0 to infinity. Okay, now let's do one thing. We need to solve these separately. Okay, we will solve this separately and then this separately. We will solve differently. Okay, keep in mind this will solve separately and this I will solve separately. Okay, now let's consider this. Okay, now in numerator we have n cube. Okay, here in denominator we have n factorial. Okay, now if I want to bring this into cubic, okay, what I can see is n cube is same as, can we consider something like n into n minus 1 into n minus 2. Okay, here I am getting n cube. Okay, now if I expand this, what will come? Here n into n square minus twice n minus n plus 2 means n into n square minus 3n plus 2. If I expand this again, n cube minus 3n square plus twice n. Now instead of n cube, I can write like this. So therefore instead of n cube is given by n into n minus 1 into n minus 2. But this is extra, right? This is extra. What I can do is this become this extra. In order to get this, I can say plus 3n square minus twice n. Why? Because over here this minus plus gets cancelled, this plus and minus gets cancelled. Therefore, I can write like this. Okay. So we will solve this part differently. So we'll solve this part differently. Let's consider this part. Okay. Therefore, summation of n cube by n factorial is when n goes from 0 to infinity can be written as, this can be written as what? N into n minus 1, n minus 2 plus 3n square minus twice n upon n factorial summation n goes from 0 to infinity. Okay. Now I can divide this upon this and this upon this. Okay. Here, look at here, even look at here. Okay. Now let's separate first. Is equals to summation n goes from 0 to infinity, n into n minus 1, n minus 2 upon n factorial plus summation n goes from 0 to infinity. Now if I can take 3 common, can I make 3 over here? This is same as what? 3n square. If I want to make minus 3n, so that I can take 3 common. So this is extra. Okay. So plus n. Minus twice n is same as minus 3n plus n. Why I am adjusting? Because I can take 3 common from here. Okay. Upon n factorial. Okay. Now here this n factorial is same as n into n minus 1 into n minus 2. Okay. So this can be written as n factorial can be written as is equals to summation of n into n minus 1, n minus 2 upon n factorial is same as n into n minus 1, n minus 2, n minus 3 factorial. Okay. Therefore this whole term and this gets cancelled. And when n equals to 0 to infinity plus, now from here I can separate. Okay. Now if I separate, I can take 3 common over here. Summation of, if I take 3 common, again I can take n common also from here. Okay. Here if I take n common, n minus 1 upon n factorial plus, okay, this by this is getting over this by this. Okay. Here summation of n by n factorial, n goes from 0 to infinity, from 0 to infinity. Okay. Similarly over here also I can reduce n factorial is same as n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 factorial. Similarly n factorial is same as n into n minus 1 factorial. Okay. Therefore this term and this term gets cancelled, this term and this term gets cancelled. Okay. Therefore is equals to what? Summation of n just 0 to infinity 1 upon n minus 3 factorial plus 3 summation of 1 upon n minus 2 factorial plus summation of 1 by n minus 1 factorial. N goes from 0 to infinity, n goes from 0 to infinity. Okay. Now let's concentrate these limits, this summation. When n equals to 0, by here we are getting in denominator minus 3. Okay, doesn't look nice. So let's go and instead of 0 by 3. Okay, when 3 minus 3 become 0 factorial, so 0 factorial it's defined. Okay, So similarly over here, when n goes from 2 and 2 minus 2 0, similar here n goes from 1. Okay. Now what is this value? Okay, remember what is e raised to x? We have e raised to x is what? 1 plus x upon 1 factorial plus x square upon 2 factorial plus x cube upon 3 factorial plus x 4 upon 4 factorial plus and so on. Okay. Now instead of x, let's put x equals to 1. Therefore e raised to 1 equals to what? 1 plus 1 upon 1 plus here 1 upon 2 factorial plus 1 upon 3 factorial plus 1 upon 4 factorial plus so on. Okay. Now here when n starts from here, okay, 3. Now look at here, okay. This is same as 1 plus it's becoming in this series, okay. Therefore this series, okay, this coming over here, okay. This is this series, okay. And therefore 3 into this, when n equals to here 1 by 1 factorial 1 plus, therefore this also same as e, therefore this also same as e, okay. Therefore this is equals to what? This is equals to e plus 3e plus e, therefore is 3 4 5, okay. Therefore this is what? 5e. 5e is what we have was summation of n cube upon n factorial, where n goes from 0 to infinity. That this what we are getting is what? Is 5e, okay. Now our aim is to find this value over here, okay. Now this part we have this part is equals to what? 5e plus, okay. We need to find this part, okay. Now e raised to x is this. From here, if I substitute x equals to 1, I am getting this, okay. Now substitute x equals to minus 1. Let's see in this. Therefore e raised to minus 1 is equals to 1 and minus and so on, okay. Now if I add these two, okay, I add these two, then e raised to 1 plus e raised to minus 1 is equals to what? 4 factorial and so on, okay. I send this is equals to e raised to 1 plus e raised to minus 1 upon 2 equals to what? This equals to 1 plus 1 by 2 factorial plus 1 by 4 factorial plus and so on, okay. Now this we have, okay. Another, if I subtract these two, okay, these two means e raised to 1 minus e raised to minus 1 equals to what I will have? Twice plus 1 by 3 factorial plus 1 by 5 factorial and so on, okay. If I send these two, it implies e raised to 1 minus e raised to minus 1 upon 2 equals to 1 plus 1 by 3 factorial plus 1 by 5 factorial and so on, okay. This we have, okay. Now this and this you will effectively use e minus e upon 2 minus here e upon 2, okay. Now if you expand when n equals to 1, this series will come, but the series will come, okay. Now if I solve this, okay, e will get cancelled. Here equals to here is equals to 5e minus 1 by e. Now check what was the given question. The given question was ae plus b by e plus c, okay. Now let's compare with these two, okay. Let's compare with these two. Therefore a equals to what? 5, b equals to minus 1, okay. And then here c equals to 0, okay. What they're asking you to find? To find value of a square minus b plus c is equals to what is a? A is 25 minus plus 1 plus 0 equals to what? 26, okay. This is the required answer.